So, hi Puneeta, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Okay, thanks. I'm doing good, and thanks for joining the call. So, I have few questions that I would like to ask you. So, first question would be: I just want to know about you and your company that we have worked so far together.
Sure. So I'm the regional marketing manager at Monitor,
Hmm.
and it's a fintech company that's headquartered in Singapore. So Monitor, what we do is we offer solution to banks and fintechs. So we help the customers to get a more personalized experience in their banking or fintech apps. So what this includes is personal financial management, budgeting, savings goals, and also gamification. And some of our clients include Standard Chartered Bank, BNZ, ANZ, Axis Bank, and DBS.
Great. Good to know about you and your company. So, I would like to ask the second question. So, like, for what project or services did your company hired us, the Delipat team?
So we actually engaged Delipat to address some challenges we faced with our Pardot setup and Salesforce integration. So these issues actually were stopping us from fully utilizing the platform, and we were not actually able to effectively track and monitor our marketing campaigns. So there were around 6 key challenges that we needed help to solve, and that's why we reached out to Delipat.
Great. If you can describe the project a little bit in detail and walk us through the stages of the project that we have delivered, that would be helpful.
Sure. So, as I mentioned, there were 6 key challenges. So, maybe I'll share a bit more on what those were. So, we needed some help in the lead scoring and grading metrics for qualifying our marketing qualified leads. We also were facing some issues with duplicate contacts being created in Pardot. Then, when we would transfer leads from Pardot to Salesforce, the lead source was not being properly identified. We wanted help with setting up reports on both Pardot and Salesforce so we are able to track our marketing activities and initiatives better. We also wanted the proper stages of the lead to MQL to SQL to opportunity, then to client to be properly identified and set up.
Mhm.
And then lastly, we wanted to be able to view the full history of the contact. So, including the website visits, what emails have they opened, and other interactions. So, these were the 6 challenges, and all of these were successfully completed by Delipat. So, a bit about the stages of the project. So, I had my first call with the Delipat team to just discuss these challenges in detail. And then, once the project began, the team addressed each of those challenges systematically. So, after resolving each issue, then they were able to demonstrate how this implementation works, and before moving on to the next challenge. And finally, when all the 6 challenges were completed within the time frame and the deadline, then there was a final call just to walk through all the solutions, implementation, and then they also provided a very comprehensive set of documentation. So has very easy to follow steps and instructions. So if we want to replicate any of this in the future or just to refer to it, it's easily available for us.
Fantastic. So, how many resources from Delipat team has worked with you, and what was their positions in that project?
So my initial discovery call was with Rajesh, who's a CEO. Once the project started, then I was mainly speaking to Roy, who was the overall project manager, and then Anurag. So he was the Pardot consultant. And then at times, if we did need to maybe execute something on Salesforce, Arpan would join for a couple of calls, and he's a Salesforce specialist.
Awesome. Fantastic. Cool. So, do you recommend Delipat to the brands that are looking out for a Salesforce implementation service? And if you say yes, what should be the reason for recommending to the other companies?
So yeah, I definitely do recommend Delipat. I had a great experience working with the team. So they were very knowledgeable about the challenges that we needed help to solve, but they're also very quick to respond. And the project timeline was quite tight, and they successfully completed it within that time frame. So that was great. I also really like that they kept me informed throughout the project. After every task was completed, it gave me enough time to also test out, and they also were very patient with walking me through the solutions. They also helped me outside of the scope of the project, things managing on Upwork because it was my first time using that platform, how the billing works, how to set up a job there. So overall, it was a great experience for me. And anyone who's looking for a knowledgeable team who's also diligent and that will manage the project without any obstacles or hurdles, then I would definitely recommend to reach out to Delipat.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So the last question that I would like to ask is, what did you find the most impressive about the team?
So for me, two key aspects stood out. So one was definitely a very quick response time to any queries that I had, and second is the meeting the tight deadline. So those were the two key aspects that stood out for me. The response time, I was very impressed by how quickly the team would respond to any questions that I had, or if let's say there were any changes that needed to be made from the initial agreed challenge or description, it would be addressed immediately. I didn't have to wait for days for the team to respond. The deadlines also were met to the T. The deadlines were quite tight, and that was crucial for us to also complete within this time. So I'd say those were the two things that I found most impressive.
Perfect. Thank you very much for all the answers. I think that would be really helpful for as a video testimonial. And special thanks to you. It was very nice working with you, and the kind of deadline that we had. I'm very much glad that we achieved that deadline, and it really helped you and your business to go for the next level. Thank you very much for the call as well, Puneeta.
All right, thank you so much.